Well, welcome to Talk with a Badge. And on this episode, it's about you. And really the idea behind Talk with a Badge is, really getting a better picture of these people, particularly at the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office that, serve and protect our communities and kind of go back and pull the curtains back a little bit and go behind the scenes and, see the human side, not only of these people, but of the job. And yours is one of those stories that we kind of hear about. And so I kind of want to just talk through it with you. And if you could just kind of, we know you work for the Sac County Sheriff's Office, but kind of, what's your role? What do you do there? How long you've been there? If you could give us a little bit of history.
Yeah, sure. So I've been with the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department for 19 years, almost 20 years now. I'm working right now in the contract city of Rancho Cordova, which is also in the county of Sacramento. I've been with Rancho for about 14 years now. So I worked patrol most of my career, but 2 years ago, I went and started working as a school resource officer for the Folsom Cordova Unified School District. And
Mm.
that's my current assignment right now.
Is that one of those assignments that that you love, that you would like to be able to keep? Because I'm guessing that there are, in any job, when you get assigned to different um, places or tasks or beats or something like that, they may not always be the best fit, but you've been there for a while. Or do you love working with the kids?
Absolutely. I've been here as a school resource officer. I've been doing it for 2 years now, and I absolutely love it. I found out that this is definitely where I'm supposed to be. I believe it's a calling that I have, just based on the different relationships that I've built with the kids and their families.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that I think, establishing a positive relationship with law enforcement on the front end is probably a good thing. And I'm guessing that you've been able to see a lot of people grow up that you still have good relationships with.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I go on calls for service now where these kids are teenagers, and they actually remember me when they were little kids, coming to their houses for different things, and just building positive relationships to where they're excited to see me when they do see me.
One of the things a little birdie told me is on one of those calls for service years ago, you went to a home and there was a young man there. And skipping some of the story, you ended up adopting this young man. So could you kind of fill that in? And how does that work to the extent you can tell us? What was the situation like, and how did we get to where we're at today?
Okay, yeah, sure. So it was back in 2007. It was during my first year here working in Rancho Cordova. Um, we officers have been sent to many calls for service to this particular house. Um, just a very, very bad living environment,
Mm.
a bad situation, um, not good role models in this house. I don't want to make it sound too terrible, but it was a bad living arrangement, bad living situation. There was a little boy there. He was 7 years old at the time, who's now my son. He's 25 now, but he was just living in a very bad situation. He was being taken, to CPS for numerous different reasons. He had older brothers that were in the system, always getting arrested for different things. They were validated gang members in Rancho Cordova. A lot of problems at this particular house. So I'll fast forward through all the details. But over time of going to this house numerous different times, for whatever reason, this little boy, his name is Dominic. He developed some kind of a bond with me, despite what he's seen with law enforcement, with his brothers over the years. He was attached to me for whatever reason,
Hmm.
and so it took some years, but over a couple of years of just continuously dealing with this family and Dominic. Um, he was probably 9 years old when he asked me if I would be his mom and if I would take him.
Mm.
Uh, so so I did. I did. It wasn't hard at all. It wasn't even I didn't have to hesitate at all in answering that little kid's question. There was He was definitely reaching out for some help, and he definitely
Wow.
did go down the path that he saw his brothers going down. And so basically his mom was out of his life. He never met his mother. His dad was in and out. So over years the adoption and the custody was fairly easy because his
Hmm.
dad couldn't provide for Dominic.
Yeah.
So he just gave me custody of Dominic.
So how's Dominic? So he's 25 now. Feels
Yeah.
like wow. So how's he doing now? Is he in college? Has he gotten through all of that? And
Oh,
what's his?
yeah. There was a rocky road at first. He had a lot of things he had to work through, abandonment issues and some learning disabilities, and so there was a lot of mental health stuff that he had to work through. And so in the beginning, it was rough. It was rough for the both of us because prior to Dominic, I didn't have any other kids, and so it was growing pains for the both of us. Um, but now, so fast forward now, he's 25. He just promoted to a sergeant in the United States Army.
Wow.
He's a combat engineer. He's been on one tour to Iraq, and he recently got engaged, and he just had a baby.
Wow. It's a lot. It's a lot to be proud of.
Yeah.
And I would also suspect that, adopting someone from a situation like that probably gave you some important perspective because you're dealing with a lot of kids. And, when you're that close to it and kind of living through that and what they're dealing with, I suspect that can't do anything but help, in your job.
Oh, for sure, for sure. There's definitely plenty of opportunities to just be there for, uh, the kids in the community, the families in the community that could need the help. So
We always hear about teachers spending their own money on supplies and things. And a little birdie told me that you have done similar things too in terms of buying iPads and so are these for students in the community, students at the school? And can you tell me in some of the ways how you've given back to these kids?
so over the last couple of years, I've really gotten to know a lot of the kids. I call them all my kids, and I've gotten to know them, and I've visited their homes, and I've realized that there's definitely a need and a lack of some things in a lot of these homes. They're underprivileged. They're in low income homes, and just not very good situations. Very similar to my son's situation. And so yeah, I've learned at the beginning of COVID-19 when the kids were sent home towards the end of the school year last year. I've learned that there was a number of kids that didn't even have computers at home.
Mm.
So I reached out and I purchased some MacBooks, some iPads, and some iPhones, and I just made some deliveries to help them with distance learning, and help them also keep in touch with me.
Yeah.
So we don't lose that connection, and just give them something that they wouldn't normally be able to get for themselves.
Hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. And so, because school's kind of out right now, are you still working with the kids or the schools in some sort of way, or are you kind of reassigned? How does that work for resource officers?
So normally, during the summer, we're assigned to like a police activities league. So we still do a lot of activities with the kids. However, now with COVID-19,
Mm.
I'm assigned back to patrol. So I've been working patrol, and when next month when schools start, although they're going to go back to a distance learning model, um, I'm being reassigned back to the schools.
Yeah.
To I'm still going to be there to uh, build relationships with the kids. I'm going to do home visits, visit the kids. There's still going to be some students that are going to be on campus, some special needs students that are going to be on several of our campuses here in Rancho Cordova. So I'll be available to assist with whatever the schools need in regards to those classes.
Yeah.
But mainly, I'm definitely going to use the time to do the community outreach. I'm definitely going to stay in touch with the families and the kids in the school district, and just make sure we still have that positive connection, and just keep that going.
Hmm. Wow. Well, thank you for all you do for our kids and our communities, and thank you for sharing your story. What a beautiful story. And I'm so happy that. So does this? Hang on a second. So you said he's engaged, and there's a kid, or there's a kid on the way. Did I hear that? So that would make you a grandmother. Is that?
Yes, That is correct. He had my little boy had a little boy 6 weeks ago. So yes,
Wow. You've got to be so happy. Well, congratulations. And thank you for all that you do for our kids and Sacramento County. And we appreciate your time today, Tracey.
thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Very welcome. And stick around for the next episode of Talk with the Badge.